lots of gas in one, then get in second, lots of gas in second gear. How can this £1 coin help you become a better driver? On this video, I'm going to be showing you, and we're also going to go through the do's and don'ts when it comes to controlling a manual car. Let's go. When it comes to gearing down, what I've seen a lot of people do is coast too much by keeping their foot on the clutch. So they'll start braking. Right now I'm in 5th gear and I want to go into 1st gear for that light over there. So they'll do this. They'll keep their foot on the brake and then clutch, go into 4th, foot still down, into 3rd, the foot still down, into 2nd, and then into 1st. That doesn't make sense. Your foot was down on the clutch the whole time. You're coasting a lot of the distance. You're much better off staying in gear and then skipping down some gears, maybe skipping some gears, and I'll show you what I mean. So this time, instead of keeping my clutch down the whole time as I'm gearing down, I'm going to stay in gear for longer. So right now I'm in 5th. I'm just going to brake in 5th, check the mirrors, and then once I get to the speed that I want for 3rd, so I'm missing gear 4 completely, I'm going straight to 3rd. I'm going to go into gear 3, bring my clutch up so my clutch is engaged, the gear 3 is engaged, and I'm braking some more. And once I get to like around here, keep braking some more, clutch down, get into 1st. And that way I minimized the amount of time that I was on the clutch. I wasn't coasting as much and it was more controlled. Therefore, it's a better method. When you're turning into a road, the mistake a lot of people make is coasting into the turn. So this means pressing your clutch down as you're making the turn and keeping your clutch down as you're making the turn. And I'll show you the wrong way of doing it first, and I'll show you the correct way. So let's say right now I'm in 3rd and I want to take the next left. I'm going to check my center mirror, left mirror. I'll signal left. Now to make this turn in 3rd, it's going to be very rough. So what people do here, they'll press the clutch down and then they go into the turn. And then when they bring the clutch up again, you see it's very, very bad for this speed. It's rumbling, it's about to stall. I would have to go into 2nd. So that's not a good way of going into a corner. A better way would be to gear down before the turn and have the clutch up before the turn. And I'll show you what I mean. I'll start braking early and then I'll get into 2nd gear around here. Have my clutch up smoothly. So now 2nd gear is engaged and then I can ease off the gas, maybe brake a little bit as well. And then this way I can make the turn smoothly in 2nd gear. Then once I get into the turn, I can accelerate now a bit more because 2nd gear is good for acceleration. If I was in 3rd gear there, the car would have started shaking and it wouldn't have worked as well. So this is the 50 road here. And the mistake people make is when they're trying to go quickly, because they've seen the number 50, they think they have to go up to gear 5 really quickly. But this is a mistake because look how long it's taking me to build up speed. I've got no power, and right now I'm in 3rd gear. I'm just going above 20 miles an hour. And then they think, oh, it's 50, so let me go into 4th. And the car is really sluggish. It's got no power. And watch how long it takes me to get up to 50 miles per hour. Even with my foot all the way down, it's taking a long time for it to build up the speed. And then once I get to like around here, 40 miles an hour almost, I can then get into 5th. It's still very sluggish. And it's going to take a long time for me to get into 5th gear. Not very good for acceleration, not good for building up your speed quickly. I'm going to show you how to do it properly. So this time to build up my speed quickly, I'm going to stay in the lower gears for a lot longer. So in 1, lots of gas in 1, then get in 2nd, lots of gas in 2nd gear. I'm almost at 40 miles per hour. Then into 3rd, overtake this person. Then into 4th. So you see, that way you can build up speed much quicker. And then once I get to like this sort of speed, I'm 50 miles per hour now, then I'll get into 5th gear. Okay? So just because you've seen the number 50, don't think you have to get into the high gear really quickly, because if you do it that way, you're going to go too slow. Stay in the low gears for much longer, and that way you're going to get more of a boost to go faster. If you want to move off without stalling or without the car being too jerky, avoid bringing the clutch up too fast. So this is the wrong way of doing it. So let's say I now want to move off, and if I bring the clutch up too fast, so it's didn't stall, but it was too jerky. Or if you bring up really fast, it's going to stall. So I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I bring up really quick like that, straight away the car stalls because it's too fast on the clutch, it's too high up. What you should do instead is bring the clutch up smoothly and count to 3 as you're moving off. That way it's going to be a lot smoother and you're much less likely to stall as well. So once I'm ready to move, I'll bring the clutch to the biting point, add a bit of gas, and then 1, 2, 3, smoothly off as I'm driving. If you want to be a smooth driver, avoid doing really rough gear changes like this. You don't need to do hard gear changes like that. It's a lot easier and a lot smoother to do gradual, soft gear changes. So if I want to go into 2 from 3, instead of roughing it up, I'm just gonna clutch down, go into neutral, position my hand towards the left and then push down. And then bring my clutch up smoothly. If I want to go into 3, push to the neutral and then up again. You see there, I wasn't holding it too tight, I wasn't roughing it up, it was nice and smooth. If you're not comfortable doing it like this while you're driving, park up somewhere and then try it. So even for this turn, I'm just gonna go like that and then bring my clutch up smoothly. And because you see a lot of people, especially when they're trying to go into first gear, they will yank it into first gear. You don't have to do it that hard. If you're using too much force, or if you need to use too much force, it means you're doing it wrong, or you got the gear stick in the wrong position. I'm gonna go into first as I approach this junction here. And what you see a lot of learners do is they'll go here and they'll go like shove it into gear. You don't need to do it that hard. So let's say I was in second there. If I want to go into first, I can just push it like that and then place it into first. It even slots into first by itself. Look, it clicks into place by itself. It doesn't require like lots of force to make it go in there. A mistake I see a lot of new drivers do, or especially new people that have just started learning to drive, is they lock their arms when they're turning. So let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna take this next left, so mirror, mirror, signal. I'll get into gear 1. And what they'll do is for the turn, they'll start turning like this, and then they'll lock the arms like this. You see? Look how wide the car is going. It's going on the wrong side of the road almost. When you lock your arms like that, you're limiting how much the car can turn. The wheel can turn a lot more than what you're allowing it to. Let me show you how to do the correct way, which is making sure that your arms keep moving as you're turning into that turn. So this time, instead of locking my arms, I'm going to keep my arms moving. I'm turning the same left, so mirror, mirror, signal left. And then once I check my mirror, I will start turning. So you see my arms are still moving over the steering wheel. They're not locked, they are moving around. So even if you're not comfortable with the push-pull technique, you can still turn properly, but making sure your arms are still moving. Or even in this turn, if I want to turn more like this, you see, that was possible. The car went where I wanted it to go and my steering wheel kept moving. So when it comes to reversing, some learners find it really tricky to control the pedals. What I see a lot of them do is braking too much, and I'll show you what I mean. So let's say I'm trying to control my speed, I'm going and go really slowly here. I'm gonna go back, make sure it's safe. What a lot of learners will do, they'll keep their foot on the brake and then they'll start using the clutch while the brake is on. And you can start hearing the car straining. It's making a lot of noises, but they'll still keep doing it. This is not good for the clutch, it's not good for the braking system, and it's very confusing for people around you as well, because you've got the brake on, brake lights are on, and you're still trying to move. What you should do instead is practice how to control the clutch and keep the speed down just by using the clutch. Let's say I go into reverse, and it's safe now. So instead of braking to control my speed, I'm going to use my clutch. I'm just going to bring my clutch to the biting point, and I'm off the brake now, and then bring the clutch just a bit like there. Once it starts moving, I'm just going to play around the biting point. And when I get the biting point like there, the car starts moving. To control my speed again, I'll push it down straight away. And then up a little bit, and then down. Up a little bit, and then down. See how thick this pound coin is? When you're moving your clutch up and down, you're moving up and down about this much, yeah? About the thickness of a pound coin. It's very, very hard to do, but with enough practice, it gets easier. I'll bring my clutch like there, and then if I'm going too quick, I'm gonna bring it down a little bit, and then once it's going too slow, I bring up a tiny bit. Then when I want to stop now, I'll bring it all the way down and then brake. If you want to move off smoothly, one thing you need to be doing is using the gas or the clutch. What I see a lot of learners do is just using the clutch by itself. So I'll show you what I mean. So when they're trying to move, they get used to doing this, and then afterwards, they'll use the gas. This is not the best way. You're not always gonna stall like this, and it's not necessarily wrong, but it's not the best way to do it. This is how you should do it. You should always use the gas and the clutch together as you're moving off. That way, it's gonna be quicker when you're trying to join traffic. It's gonna be a lot smoother when you're actually moving. And if you're on a hill you're much less likely to stall as well. So let me show you what I mean. So instead of just using the clutch by itself, I'm going to use the gas as well. So let's say now it's clear, I can add a bit of gas and then bring the clutch to the biting point and move on. And you see there, as I'm doing that, you can see the revs going up as well. When I was using just the clutch by itself, the revs stayed around 1000 RPMs, not ideal. So you make sure you can hear the engine making noise. If you're not hearing the engine making noise, then you're not doing it well enough. So let me just check my surroundings. Yeah, my car's the RPMs are a bit higher, and then this way I can pick up a lot of speed and it's a lot smoother. I'll show you what it's like in a traffic situation as well. So if I was to use just the clutch by itself, you see it's quite jerky, and then I use the gas. You don't get much power that way as well. You don't get the acceleration as you would do if you were to use the gas as well. So this time I'm going to use the gas to move off at this roundabout. So a bit of gas and then clutch up to the biting point and then smoothly off. You see, that way, one, it's smoother, and two, it's quicker as well. One of the main reasons a lot of learners don't like using the gas when they're moving off is because they're scared that the car's gonna suddenly shoot off and go really fast somewhere. I'm going to show you that that's not the case if you control the clutch properly. Even if you have lots of gas, if you control the clutch, the car's not going to suddenly zoom off somewhere. I'm going to put more gas than usual just to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to put like 3000 RPMs almost. Let me put like around 3000 RPMs, and then look, I bring my clutch up smoothly. You see, the car doesn't go really fast. It's only going to go really fast if I bring the clutch up fast as well. That's when it's going to go quick. But if I want to go slowly, I'll control my speed using the clutch while having the gas in the background. So I'm gonna have a normal amount of gas and then bring my clutch up just to the biting point. And that way, it's nicely controlled. So don't be scared to use the gas. The car's not gonna suddenly dart off somewhere. The clutch controls how fast you go. So a mistake I see a lot of learners do is bringing the clutch up way too fast once they've changed gears. This is going to make it jerky. People ask me, how do I drive smoother? How can I make the car drive smoothly? One of the main things you can do is bring the clutch up smoothly once you've changed into a higher gear or even a lower gear. So let me show you what I mean. Let's say I want to go from gear 3 to gear 2. What a lot of people will do is they'll go into second gear and then just yank the clutch up like that. It's too fast, that's why it's jerky. Instead, let's say once you go into 2, bring the clutch up smoothly. That way, it's a lot smoother. You don't get that jerk motion because you didn't bring the clutch up too fast. One mistake a lot of learners make is looking down at the gears. So they'll be changing gears like this. Even after they've done lots of lessons, they get so used to looking down each time they're changing gears. This is very bad, especially if you're on a high-speed road and you're looking down, you're going to miss things in front of you. So get used to changing gears while looking up. Even if you have to park up somewhere and practice it first, get used to doing this. Even if you get it wrong, let's say you get it wrong, don't worry about getting it wrong. Let's say let's say I got it into the wrong gear, and right now I want to go into second, but if I go into fourth by mistake, I would feel it straight away, and I can change and go into the correct gear. Yeah, that way it's a lot safer. You're better off going into the wrong gear by mistake and then realizing and then changing it than all the time looking down each time you change gear, looking down again, because it's not going to be safe. You're not going to see what's happening in front of you, and somebody might suddenly brake ahead of you, and now you're going to get too close to them.